If you want to get the Leviathan Expedition out of the way and done in 2 hours in a surprisingly easy and safe way, you are in the right place. This is a step-by-step guide for those players with busy lives who want to get this done as quickly as possible, or those who don't really care for the expedition itself but want the rewards and to avoid FOMO. Starting off nice and sharpish, start a new game and select the expedition mode. After initializing, locate the nearest cliff and jump off, or angry predator and taunt it. Your mission here is to die as fast as possible, so get yourself killed. After death, load back into the save, open your inventory and use the memory fragment. Claim iterate/repeat and use those memory fragments also. When it comes to modules in this, work out whether you will need them before installing. For instance, hazard protection are quite useful, though you won't need underwater protection. Personal refiner could be useful, though this guide works fine with almost no upgrades, just the weapon is required really. Just ensure you focus on survivability, this is permadeath for most of it. You can die quickly and reset all of your progress. Start walking back to your ship and on the way collect 320 carbon, 150 cobalt, 300 ferrite dust and 160 dihydrogen. You'll want to collect at least 60 of the carbon very quickly and craft creature pellets. In order to adopt the first predator you see, they are everywhere on this planet and using the creature pellet will allow you to prevent others from killing you too. While moving, keep an eye out for caves for the cobalt, but also as a way to shelter, though you do start with 5 iron batteries. Picking up a little oxygen if you see it could also help keep you alive. However, if you do run into trouble with life support, just claim the atonement rewards and you can use the wild milk from that, which gives 20% of your life support per milk. Once you get to the ship and have all of your items, craft 3 metal plating, 2 dihydrogen jelly, 1 carbon nanotube and then 2 launch fuel. Fix your terrain manipulator. Build your portable refiner and refine 110 carbon to condensed carbon, 150 ferrite dust to pure ferrite, then 100 pure ferrite to magnetized ferrite. Craft the hermetic seal and then fix your ship. Claim a new beginning. This can be done earlier if you are in need of the life support gel. Head up to space, summon the anomaly and fly in. Head to the Quicksilver Synthesis bot and get a ship or multi-tool if you have any from previous expeditions or Twitch drops, then head to Polo and strike up a conversation. You'll now complete Cycle Observed, Perpetuity, Recursion and A Way Out, depending on the time, maybe even Unbound. Claim the rewards from all of these as well as observing the cycle and Remembrance. Now you have the ship and multi-tool you'll be completing this with, you can increase the inventories and install the tech for all you want. Focus on survival technology and utility with a weapon for your multi-tool. If you are careful with your choices, you'll be able to afford a single S-Class upgrade soon. Build the solar array in your multi-tool, leave the anomaly and head to the planet closest to the space station. As you come close to landing, look out for any resource deposits. You can often see them load in from a decent height. If you see one, land by it, otherwise land and use your analysis visor to look for nearby ones. Your mission now is to use a solar ray on resource deposits until you have 1282 or more liquid sun. The solar ray is a very hungry tool. It appears to use the same amount of fuel regardless of how large you have the ray, and every recharge costs 50 sodium. It is barely more efficient to use a smaller size ray to gather liquid sun, but will cost you huge amounts more sodium. So unless you find 1 or 2 sodium fields on that planet, which are very common, you should keep the ray at the largest and just go to more overall deposits. You have a few launch fuel to play with here, and always ensure your launch thrusters are 50% or above when leaving your ship so that you can call it to you, without waiting a long time for the recharge to work. Once you have the 1282 liquid sun, head back up to the anomaly, talk to Polo and hand in 250 liquid sun 5 times. Claim both bounce testing and partners in time. Install the hyperdrive, ship weapon, fuel the hyperdrive and use the inventory fragments. Now exit the anomaly and head to the space station. Hop over to the side where the teleporter is and talk to 4 Viking, 2 Korvax and 1 Gek and learn a word from each of them. Then access the Galactic Trade Terminal and sell 490 of your 500 activated emerald. If you accidentally sell all of it, be sure to buy 30 chromatic metal here. Also buy the ferrite dust, oxygen, 40 gold, 80 copper and leave the station. Enter the galactic map and after the auto-targeting of the Atlas system, switch back to the expedition route and go to the first system it points you to, called Laosi Pri. Once here, head straight for the space station. Here you can just sell the extra technology you don't need to make room and get nanites. Then talk to the vendor near the exosuit inventory terminal and buy as much contraband as you can. Start with the highest value and just buy whatever you can afford. You should have around 3 to 4 counterfeit circuits and then a few of the cheap ones. Run back to your ship, exit the station and warp to the Anchor Point 1 system. The first thing to do here is to fly straight into the space station, head over to the cartographer and buy 5 random maps. There will always be distress maps at this station. Then talk to 1 to 2 Korvax and 2 to 3 Gek. I've had this one need 4 of some, even though it says only 3. So you are in a position to get 4 if required, but it should be fine. Hop up to the technology vendor side and go into the back room. Claim the Atonement milestone if you haven't already, access the trade terminal and sell the Fecium, wild milk and all of the contraband you picked up in the previous system. Claim the Hot Pursuit milestone and sell the bushel items at the trade terminal as well as the forged passport. The passport will just get you attacked by pirates if you keep it. Also be sure to claim universal language and use the memory fragments, then sell any extra technology you have on you before leaving the station. Leave the station and head to Anchor Point 1. As you fly in, coming from the station, the portal you are looking for will be a little in front of you after the waypoint and to the left. Hopefully these servers are working to make locating this nice and easy for you. As you get to Anchor Point 1, whip out your portable refiner and refine the 10 activated emerald to chromatic metal. Claim Anchor Point 1 and build the memory resonator. Use the memory resonator to gain a waypoint and head there. Sometimes the memory resonator will take a few tries to get working. These loop waypoints are a real pain. They appear to be below the planet's surface, so will often have you flying as if to land way in front of the waypoint itself. So as you don't have endless fuel, pulse up into space and roughly aim above the waypoint, so that when you pulse toward the waypoint you are coming from above it, and so can avoid this perspective issue. When leaving your ship after landing here to narrow down the location of a loop spot, always ensure your ship is fueled enough to call to you. For each of these you are looking for a traveller grave. Once you locate the grave, call your ship in before interacting with it, as once you have gone through the dialogue a nasty surprise will appear, so go straight for your ship and take off for safety. Claim Wake the Past and use the memory fragments, then craft an antimatter housing, an antimatter and then a warp cell and fuel your hyperdrive with it. It is now that preparations are mostly done. The steps are a lot more simple and linear from here. First warp to Anchor Point 2 system using the expedition route. This should cost the 4 warps your hyperdrive has fuel for. You won't be warping again, so don't worry about obtaining more. Head into the station and go to the back room on the tech vendor side and buy the uranium from the trade terminal. This is also somewhat your last chance to sell extra tech and buy an upgrade. So check them out. I'd recommend either something for your multi-tool weapon or a shield module for your exosuit. Pulse to Anchor Point 2 and find the portal. As you fly in, you will see the marker between 2 pools of water. Turn to fly over the left pool. The portal is just over the hill at the end of it. Claim Anchor Point 2 and use the fragments to expand your inventory. We will be back here to use this portal, so build a base as close as possible. The plus side of server connection being down is that you can build it at the portal, otherwise a little further away. If you can't build it very close, be sure to use your analysis visor to plant a custom marker at the portal to ensure you can find it again shortly. If it's not close, we'll be putting another down shortly, so don't worry. You will need to build 15 small floors once you've claimed the spot. Find the loop using the memory resonator and be sure to call your ship in for safety before interacting with the grave. Claim to crave the stars and use a fragment, then head back to the portal. Recharge the portal and dial the address on screen now. Once dialed, activate the Anchor Point 3 milestone and head through. Use the memory resonator and locate the third loop. As ever, being careful and having your ship ready by the grave. During or after finding the loop point, build a base. It doesn't matter where, provided it's in this system, and chances are you'll find a free spot while finding the loop. If you didn't build one in Anchor Point 2, be sure to build the 15 small floors here to complete the anchor. Head back to the portal and pass through. During these parts, it is very important not to reload your game. If you need to save and log off for a short time, then do that when back through the portal. Reload will often get rid of your portal waypoint, making it more annoying to return to it. Claim Anchor Point 3, Obsession and Cluster Horde, then craft 5 memory fragments in your inventory and use them. Claim the Anchor milestone, focus Anchor Point 4 milestone and ensure your ship has launch fuel. Now dial this address on screen and head through the portal again. Once through, you may run into a little trouble from sentinels. If there is a storm, quickly and carefully build your Minotaur geobay and jump into it, then bunny hop away to lose them while also looking for storm crystals. You are going to need 5. If there is not a storm as you come through, go straight for your ship and head into space until you can pulse away from interceptors. Head back into the planet's atmosphere and use a memory resonator to find the loop. This planet is brutal. Spend as much time as possible in your Minotaur and make use of a storm that comes. It can be up to 12-minute wait between them otherwise, so when one is happening, focus getting the 5 storm crystals. Once you have the loop sorted, head back to the portal. You can ignore the ships that will try and fight you as you fly into space. It is worth claiming calcified echoes and using the fragments. Both Anchor Point 4 and Monomania also give exocraft fragments, which won't be of use to you, but they have others too, so you just have some deleting to do. Once back through the portal, focus the Anchor Point 5 milestone and dial this address on screen. Once dialed, head through. Claim Anchor Point 5, then use the memory resonator to find the final loop location. Now, head up into space, call the anomaly and use it to teleport back to your Anchor Point 3 base. This part of the route is thanks to Beeblebum for finding a much easier derelict freighter for us. Fly into space and start pulsing. If the game isn't automatically searching for a derelict for you, use the emergency broadcast receiver. Once the derelict has popped up, land, enter and just make your way directly to the final terminal. You don't need anything else here. Interact with it. Claim a shattered past and build the whale song flute. Move a little away from the derelict and make sure your launch thrusters are fueled and use the flute. Accept your fate. You can now load back in. From this point on, if you die, you won't lose any items or have your progress reset. Be warned that if you keep this save, it will convert into a survival save. Dying once it has converted will cause you to lose your primary active inventory, which is your exosuit main or ship main, etc., depending whether you are on foot or in ship. I've never tested it in exocraft, but I assume it would use that one if you were in one. Call your ship to you. Now is a great time to search around for bases that mark a sentinel pillar or crash freighter. If you find them, then utilise them. The crash freighter is easy, just land and interact with the black box. For the sentinel pillar, if there is a base there, use the base as cover and kill enough sentinels that when you turn them off at the pillar, you will also finish the 20 sentinel kills required. If you don't have a connection to the servers, this is not a huge deal, so don't worry. Head up to the station and procure as many green maps as you can, teleporting back to the Anchor Point 2 system called Romestovot, which for some reason I gave a Russian accent, which you'll definitely have a teleport link to. You can find a navigation data on the ship tech vendor's counter, on the table a bit in front of the black market vendor, and on the counter in the back room on the tech vendor side. Use the green maps until you get a manufacturing facility or operations centre. Fly down to it, blow the doors open and start blasting. Keep an eye on the counter and keep the summoner alive. Also keep an eye on your health just to be safe and run inside if you need to take cover. Once you've killed 20, run inside and move out of sight of the doorway until the sentinels calm down. Claim Pugnium Dreams and use the sentinel boundary map to find a pillar and shut it down. Next, sit in your ship so you'll avoid the animation and use the distress signal maps until you have a crashed freighter and an abandoned building. Go to the freighter and interact with the black box, then go to the abandoned building and steal 10 whispering eggs. Well done, you just completed Expedition 7. Remember to claim the iteration final rewards and the last page rewards so that all of your current and future saves have access to the special account bound rewards. I hope you all found this helpful. There are timestamps below marking activities by system location, as it's the only viable way to section up this guide due to the efficient nature of tackling so many milestones at the same time. If you did enjoy it or it was helpful, please be sure to hit the like button and maybe leave a comment. Have a fantastic day, guys.